Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chairmen on Board. I am Tyler, and of course joining me once again is Samantha. Yes, we are working on our second part of Hunt a Killer. It has been a long time, we do apologize. I got busy in the world of coding. I've gotten into coding recently as a future career path. We finally got some time to sit down together and work on the second installment of Hunt a Killer. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that right now. Alright, so here we are. We actually, you can't see it, but we have all of our stuff spread out here. All of our stuff from the first box. So now we're opening our second box. Last time we spent a lot of time, and I'm sure Sam can agree, doing stuff we didn't need to. Although it gave us a hint with that letter with the little decoding in it to some connection, we still have a lot of things that are like these loose pieces of evidence we don't necessarily need to go over right now. So this time we're going to stick very sharply to our clue here that's given in the box. And so your goal in this episode is to eliminate a suspect. When you have the answer, send the email to jadler@thecadencetheatre.com with the word clue in the subject line. In the body of the email, type the name of the one character who cannot be the murderer. Based on the evidence in this episode, we're going to eliminate a suspect. We'll get to you when we have more information on that shortly. Okay, so quickly, we're going to go through the items checklist with you. And then we're going to do some investigating and come up with our answer and then get back to you with, well, hopefully some clues to our answer and anything else we find along the way. But we first have to find what we're actually looking for, which is an eliminated suspect. So, correct. Sam, why don't you go through our checklist and see if we have everything?
Okay, so last time we only had 10 clues, and this time we have 9. So our package contains a Julia letter, a police report, a ledger, Hector letter, coded letter, delivery slip, stage whisper, article, handkerchief, and enamel beater pin.
We have everything. This is I was like, coded letter. They gave us another one? That's so easy. I'm going to stash this. This is from last time. I don't want to mix these up. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and read some stuff. We'll discuss some stuff with you openly, and then we will go from there. So we did a little reading. Once again, in this box, we are supposed to eliminate somebody. Now, we read the police report. We read everyone's, basically their interviews, their testimony to the detective at the time, and almost everyone points to this fact that Joseph Sampson, the stage manager, had stepped out around 5:15 to go get flowers, and he wasn't back until he says 6:30, but no one else has any account for him past 6:15. As George Erickson, the proprietor of the theater, says at 6:15 he left, and no one had been. Sampson still had not been back yet. That's saying that Sampson was not there basically the entire time. I remember prior to this we had taken notes on it that the murder happened somewhere between 5:15 and 6 o'clock. It was like 5:57. That was the time frame that it happened. Someone else's testimony in here, I believe it was our last person who spoke to, Ira Adler, says that he heard a scuffle before 6. Shortly afterwards, he heard the freight elevator going.
It was at 6.
Yeah. Yeah. He heard the freight elevator going.
They don't use the freight elevator during rehearsal, so that was a very odd thing.
And then Sampson said that he did go in there to the room to check on, and to Viola's dressing room to check on her, and he realized that her costume trunk was missing. And he said the only reason that would be missing is she was planning to be gone for a long time. So that means that had to be there beforehand.
Well, because he was on the phone, like, arguing about some hotel reservation or something.
Ira, right?
Yes.
And
he was on the phone.
Yeah, but I'm saying Sampson went in there and didn't see. Sampson would have checked and didn't saw the trunk missing. So, needless to say that the murder happened somewhere between there. Once again, we got a time frame, but I think we can rule out the stage manager because he left to get flowers. Now, the little funny thing about that is that Erickson says that it was Sampson suggesting to get the flowers, but Sampson's saying that it was Erickson pushing to do it, and I think someone else had mentioned that. I think the Adler as well has said, Ira Adler has said that it was Erickson saying to get the flowers, and we know that Erickson's wife doesn't like Viola. So can help us out later, but some facts to know. So that's what we came up with. I'm going to go ahead and email that because I think that's what we have as our answer, and we're going to rule out the stage manager. However, we did find a coded letter, and there's like, I think the words are jumbled, so we're going to take a shot at that, and we'll get back to you with what we got from that. I think it's very similar to Hector's letter earlier on, where it's going to give us some vague clue, but it's not going to give us any answer or anything like that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with that. Well, we have our answer. I went ahead and emailed the Adler Theater to see if... Hi, Lola's butt. I went ahead to email the Adler Theater to see if our answer was correct. And it was Joseph Sampson. Our stage manager is clear. He wasn't in the building when the murder happened at all. And when he got back, the trunk was already gone, so he had no way of touching it. So homeboy is cleared. That's one suspect down. I believe we have 6 more to go. We also have the puzzle between the work between Samantha and I. Wait, our newest fur baby is going crazy. You'll probably see him somewhere in here. We figured out the puzzle. Samantha, do you want to talk about it?
Yes. So there is a coded letter in here. It took us a couple of tries to kind of figure out how we were going to do this, and ultimately, when we realized that the words that are misspelled aren't actually words, they're not an anagram or spelled backwards, but the alphabet she used backwards. So A is Z, and so on and so forth. You just turn the alphabet upside down, and then you figure out your words throughout the letter. It's kind of difficult because the handwriting is sort of in cursive, so some letters look like others. But ultimately, we were able to decode all the words and phrases throughout this letter, and it gives some pretty good information. Yeah.
So essentially, she's writing somebody, what she calls darling. She doesn't specify. We are about 80% done. We're going to get back to it, and we're going to get the full message for you, but we want to say we did get our email back saying that we did figure out who it was, which was pretty easy with just the police report. So we have all this extra stuff. We do know that in the letter she talks about, if you ever get lost, check her embroidered thing here. And I want to say that these flowers are all musical notes because they don't repeat. The pattern doesn't repeat. If you can see that way over there. Looks like kind of like the writing in the ring, huh? But so I feel like these are all musical notes, and on here there is an embroidered E and an embroidered V, and we know that Mr. Erickson had something going on with Viola. She got that. That's how she got the role, and that his wife Ida, I believe her name was.
No, Ruth.
Ruth. I'm sorry, Ruth. Ida as Adler. Yeah, Ruth didn't like Viola because I think she found out, which is a possible motive later on. So that being said, we're going to finish translating this, and then we will read you the letter, hopefully, with the translations in it, if we don't get confused, because we're writing it down. But it is a lot at once, and like you're like going through trying to match it up, but eventually you get it. Like one I recognize right away are G's are T's and T's are G's, so it's that moving a little faster. And the phrase mother comes up from time to time, which helps us out. And how we tested this theory is we actually originally we figured out Viola in the back Viola's number of letters match up, and we took that apart, and then we started fooling around with it and noticing that we can get the other letters, and that's what led us to our answer. So we actually kind of did it a little bit backwards. We didn't know for sure it was reversed. We just took the letters and like said, okay, well this letter, this E is a V, and so on, and then we're like, all right, let's switch it around, and then we realized, oh, these are just A is Z, B is Y, and C is X, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and we're going to do this real fast, and we will get back to you. So we don't want to reveal the whole thing to you because we feel like it's a lot. We will say we did translate the entire thing. That took us about 20 minutes or so, 23 minutes. We did use a key, which I don't know if you'll be able to make it out here. But we used a key where A was Z, B was Y, and so forth. Then you start to recognize words, like mother comes up a lot. Hector does as well, often. And then you start to recognize patterns, once again, like G is T and so forth. But basically, we can assume that whoever she's now, she doesn't outright say it's Erickson, the proprietor. There, so
yeah, being that the letter was addressed to Darling, it's speculation who at this point who it can be. She does reference Ruth in the letter, who in the last season that we did here, it's expressed that Ruth does not like her, but she doesn't understand. But Viola states in the letter she doesn't really understand why she's upset with her, but she's basically just speaking her feelings about how she's tired of her life being planned out for her, and she's stressed and she just wants to get away. And this letter was written a year prior to her death, and so it's more, we're just at the tip of the iceberg right now, trying to figure out, it's clear she's getting married. Their plans are being let out, but whether this is just a really good friend or somebody that she may be having an affair with, we don't quite know.
She says, "Meet me in her dressing room." While everyone's busy. So that's we can assume something's happening there. We did notice that Erickson was in charge of George Erickson was in charge of the ledger, and we noticed that the code is also in here. We haven't translated any of the code in here yet, but we think it's the same style of code. If that being the case, that would reveal probably some things. However, we are kind of calling it for the night. We have our ledger, we have our key for changing the code over on the ledger. We will do that next time when we get more evidence, but this is kind of giving us a clue that Viola was not happy with her life being planned out for her. She wasn't happy that Hector and her mom made all her plans, that they wanted her to be on top of the world. She wanted to literally escape the city any way possible, get out of there and start herself anew and make decisions for herself. Maybe she didn't want to be an actress to begin with, but her mother pushed her, and then Hector kept her in the spotlight as well. So that being said, we did get our answer once again.
Yeah.
We eliminated Joe, so he's in the clear. Which I do like about this Hunt a Killer is that they give you, you find your answer pretty easily, but there's if you keep digging, you'll find more stuff. And I think that in us digging now, it's going to be less later.
Yes. We had already kind of found some things from the first box that kind of corresponds with the second one, and actually helped us with a couple of things. So it is important to refer back to the previous boxes, because there's going to be things that you're going to need to be able to figure it out in the future.
Right. That's our video. So this is our second part of our Hunt a Killer Cadence Theatre series. Go ahead and stay tuned. We're going to be back on it more. We promise we will have more videos more often than every 5 months. Once again, with the world being what it is, we hit a snag, and then I immediately started changing careers. We're enjoying this very much. We're glad we're jumped back on it because it's starting the wheels back up. Sam, you have anything to say?
No, thank you for watching. And of course, if you have any feedback, please leave a message in the comment section below.
Yeah, please comment, subscribe, like. We always appreciate that. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am Tyler.
And I am Samantha.
And this is the chairman of the board. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to continue this one on very soon. Take care.
Bye.